Honesty, can you say honesty? 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 Honesty.
Yes, family. Good afternoon and welcome to Reason with Rattigan with your host and family member, Will, the Rebel, Rattigan, on Reggae Global Radio, Facebook, and YouTube. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Again, don't forget to do it. We need the message to go out, and we need all the support we can get. Now, bless up, everybody. Chat room lively. Bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up, bless up. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, and don't forget. I'm sorry. Again, thanks to all of you for tuning in, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get things arranged here. Hopefully, we won't have the technical difficulties we had last week. I don't think we will, God willing. For the past 2 weeks, I planned on explaining the law that allows you to get information from the Jamaican government regarding its activities. However, as most of you are aware, due to circumstances beyond my control, I had to postpone. Hopefully today we will get to it. And if you really care about Jamaica and what the government is doing, you cannot afford to miss this program. In fact, you need to call your relatives and friends and tell them to tune in, because if there's one episode of my program that you shouldn't miss, it's this one, today's program. As I mentioned, the law is called the Access to Information Act of 2002. Again, it's called the Access to Information Act of 2002. And it basically says that the government must give you information about its activities. However, like most rules, you're going to have exceptions. And in this case, there are 9 exceptions. And we plan to cover the whole thing today. Again, my goal is that after today, you won't suffer in ignorance and you'll be bold and courageous, like me, to question the government's activities. I'll also give you examples of my experience with this law and several government agencies so that you will benefit from my experience and you won't have to go through the same thing. As my mother would have said, praise the Lord. Herb Nelson and I will be joined by 2 guests today. I haven't heard from Herb. Still checking to see. Okay, all right. He says he'll be here a little bit late. He and I will be joined by Bongo Jerry Small, broadcaster, social political commentator, and his outstanding historian. We had him on last week. We had him on the week before, but we had technical difficulties. So I think we have solved them today. I see he's here already, perusing some documents. So we'll get him on later. And of course, he's back by popular demand. And as usual, he might talk up the things. The second guest will be Michelle Tolo Neal. That's a double barrel last name, Tolo Neal. And she's the Global Diaspora Council's representative for the Northeast U.S. So she's my rep. And she's also Herb Nelson's rep. And if you live anywhere between, I think it's Virginia and Maine on the Eastern Seaboard, she's your rep. But she'll be here later on to talk about her role and her responsibility. And by the way, I need to mention that if you need to join the conversation by telephone, the number is 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. And I'll have something to say about that. But please join the conversation by telephone or the chat rooms on the Reggae Global Radio platform or my YouTube channel, Reason with Rattigan. Again, as a reminder, the telephone number is 667-369-8569. 667-369-8569. And the line will be open from 4:30 to 4:50 New York time. So if you call before that, I'm not going to take the call. I just can't take the call because we don't want to disrupt the flow of the program. So look on your watch, or your clock, and call between 4:30 and 4:50 New York time, which is 3:30, 3:50 Jamaica time, and 9:30, 9:50 UK time. And there'll be a second period at 5:30, 5:50 New York time, 4:30, 4:50 Jamaica time, 10:30, 10:50 UK time. Just remember those times. And I think it's worth repeating. It's 4:30 to 4:50 New York time, 3:30 to 3:50 Jamaica time, 9:30 to 9:50 UK time. And the second period is 5:30 to 5:50 New York time, 4:30 to 4:50 Jamaica time, and 10:30 to 10:50 UK time. I know it's frustrating for those of you who have not been able to get through. However, don't despair. Be patient with me. I'm a work in progress. All right. And also, as a reminder, please don't forget to tune into Reggae Global Radio tonight at midnight until 2 a.m. and relax with the Rebel. Tonight, in recognition of Father's Day, I'll feature a nice selection of reggae. The kind of reggae that, if you're going on a long trip, you just blast the music and you just start nod and, snap your fingers. So make your plans and join me at midnight on Reggae Global Radio. And let me repeat, because I ran into some problems a few months ago. It will be reggae night tonight. I'm doing something a bit different. I'm not playing smooth jazz and I'm not playing slow jams. It's going to be reggae. And it will be reggae that you will enjoy. And it reggae songs that you know, so you can sing along. All right. And why don't we do that? We'll sing along. I'll sing along with you. You'll sing along with me, and we'll both sing along with the artist. Shout out time, prayers and blessing as usual for Mama Eileen, Papa Trevor, Mapi, and family. And that includes Desmond, Michelle, and Paul. Margene, Bonnie, big up yourself, brother. Sassy Diva, stay so. Bob, get well soon. Reg, you know you listen to me, although you say nah, listen to me, but you know you listen right now. And Mrs. Nelson, that's Herb Nelson's wife. Big shout out to all of you, my family by blood, relations, and choice. We talked about that last week. Big up to the Reggae Global family, the Meadowbrook crew, the Firehouse crew, the Rollington crew, Donovan and the Admiral, stay so. And the crew of hardworking Jamaicans, including JCF and JDF members, the maids, can't forget to know, laborers, no way, can't forget to know, etc. Big up everybody. Want to say a big up to Fireball, the headmaster, the Taliban, none other than Ed Robinson, who celebrated his birthday or Earth Strong first night, last night. Brethren, wish you many more. And don't forget, keep your career going. You know what I talk about, right? Right? The singing career we I talk about. Keep that going. All right. Again, apologies for not making it last night. I had plans, but you know, that's just life. Sometimes plans don't work out, but you understand. We are brethren. Make it up to you, my brother. I'll travel down there. I'll see you and we are going to hang out and we'll do things together. So keep that in mind. Update. The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. We're still waiting for the IRS to approve the foundation as a tax-exempt organization. We can't move without that. And once we get that, we're good to go. All right. So all of you out there, those of you thinking about it, wondering, and those of you even asking me about it, just keep in mind that as soon as we get the approval, you will know. And then we can start operating, taking care of business. Big up to all of the people, all of the students from Partner Draw. Big up on yourself. Me see you know. Big up. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the strength. All of the people from Jeffrey Tavares group. All of the people from Lonesome group. And of course, all of the people from Fireman. I thank all of you for the wonderful support you have provided and you continue to provide. Thanks and blessings. I just got some information from the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries regarding the fertilizer issue. And some of you wrote to me this week and said, hey, what to the fertilizer? We know you're talking about the fertilizer no more. Well, we'll talk about the fertilizer. We'll talk about the fertilizer today. In fact, I have the fertilizer information right here. So, just give me a second there. I have it written down. But we'll get to that. So I got some information from the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries, and I also received some information from the Office of the Cabinet regarding the gift of services received by Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. Hey, me have a joke for you. Somebody mentioned this to me. When is a gift not a gift? When is a gift not a gift? Talk to me in the chat room. Oh no, young conservative, the judge, no, she not recuse herself yet. She's still there. But when I talk to me, man, when is a gift not a gift? I need to hear from you now. Well, now look for this thing here. When I talk to me, when is a gift not a gift? Nobody know? All right, I'm telling you now. A gift is not a gift. When you give to Kamina, how that sound? Because this woman I get a gift and say, "Boy, me not get no gift, me not get no benefit, or blah 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 blah." But anyway, that's a joke. You know, when it's a gift, not a gift. When it's received by Minister Kamina Johnson Smith, that's when it's not a gift. But we could talk about the. Well, I tell you what. Let's leave the fertilizer until we finish up everything else, and then we get to the fertilizer. Other news: protests. Oh, when them take it back, it's not a gift when you hide and take it. Oh, so somebody, a gift is not a gift when given to me now. Ah, there you go. Smith, yeah. What's up with the Julius Owner's house in the back? Yeah, we are work on that. We are work on that. We have some information and we have some pictures and everything like that. No 70 or 90 wonders around here. No. It's just that we have so many things going on, but family, don't ever think for 1 minute that story is going to come here and for a peaceful ending. That's not going to happen. But anyway, protests are ongoing. Advocates Network and a few others, we know that they're continuing their protest, and we support them. Markets have been burnt down. Roads continue to be rivers as we don't have a comprehensive drainage system. And I know that from personal experience, because when we deliver water house, when the rain fall, the water used to come out in the yard because we don't have a drainage system. The road, that's the drainage system. People are leaving Jamaica at an unprecedented rate to escape poverty. Back in the 70s, people said, and usually it was, at that time, it was the middle class, upper middle class, rich people. They were leaving because they feared democratic socialism. But now we have people leaving in droves, and they're leaving because of poverty, hopelessness, and despair. And they're being returned at an unprecedented rate by foreign governments. I just hear say Panama send back a whole heap of people, and there are other countries, Central America, South America, the Caribbean. They're sending back Jamaicans because they realize that Jamaica is using their country as a transit point to get to Mexico to cross over into the U.S. And we have our wonderful Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. She's trumpeting the cause for the return of Jamaican citizens. So that's that. And the ones who remain in Jamaica, they're essentially two types. Those who live in a bubble above halfway tree, and whatever else happens elsewhere in Jamaica has no impact on their lives. Life is sweet for them. They don't feel the pressure. It's almost like a different world. That's the Jamaica you see when they advertise. They do the sandals and they do this and they do that. Those people are experiencing that Jamaica. And then there's a second group, the group that's not experiencing that Jamaica. And that's the group that exists below the halfway tree demarcation line. They're experiencing hell on earth. We're also planning to send our policemen and women to conduct peacekeeping missions in Haiti, a country with a proud past and one of our closest neighbors. However, mark my words, if they do send police personnel, it won't be a walk in the park for them. Instead, it's going to be a bloodbath because they will be up against a foreign language, trained and well-armed gang members, unfamiliar terrain, a different culture, etc. So if our government is serious about sending law enforcement, Jamaican law enforcement personnel to Haiti on a peacekeeping mission, they should start preparing the body bags because that's how they will return home to Jamaica. Moreover, this should be an expedition led by CARICOM, France, the US, and others. And by the way, CARICOM, just keep this in mind, CARICOM doesn't trust Jamaica. And I submit to you two cases. There are many others, but I'll just submit two. The Venezuela situation and also the Kamina Johnson saga, where there was a consensus and we said yes, and then a few weeks later we said no. So why are we leading the charge when there is so much to be done at home? We can't even fight crime or maintain peace in our community, much less our country. Yet we are thinking about peacekeeping missions in a failed and lawless country. This is the kind of leadership we elected, but did not expect or anticipate. I'm sure when we voted for this government, we didn't expect these kinds of things. We expected hope. Prosperity. We expected prosperity because we had this young, vibrant, bright person leading the charge in the form of the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. And he exuded confidence, promise. There was so much going on for him that people felt there's no way we're going to fail with him at the helm of the government. But sadly, that's where we are. So voters, if this is bothersome to you, this kind of leadership, you know what to do come election time. If it's not troubling to you, if you have no issues with what's going on, then continue on the same path. Like I said, I don't tell people which one of the parties to vote for. I don't do that. I just tell them that, look, if you're happy with your MP, if all your needs are met, then why change? You'd be stupid to change. So if you notice, I'm talking about individual politicians. I'm not talking about a party. I'm saying if the person who represents you in parliament is doing fine by your standards, if your kitchen table issues are being addressed, education, healthcare, housing, infrastructure, if all of those things are being met, then vote for that person. If they're not being met, then we need to do something else. Like I said, if it's not troubling to you, and it should, but if it's not, then continue on the same path. But whichever way the winds blow, UIC, PNP, JLP, I will continue this fight for economic success, for safety and security, for education, for housing, for healthcare, etc. I will continue to fight for the zinc fence people, the boardhouse people, the voiceless, the discarded, the marginalized, my people. What are Jamaica my people? But when you say my people, them people here behind me. The boardhouse, the zinc fence, the voiceless, the discarded, the marginalized. Them people are the people who don't say the other side of Jamaica, the sandal side of Jamaica. Where the commercials you see on TV, yeah, people who don't people who don't get to experience that. The well-to-do people in Jamaica, they don't need me to fight for them. But I welcome their voices and support in the righteous causes that I'm pursuing. For some of them, supporting us would be suicidal because this is the system under which they have and they continue to prosper and live a comfortable lifestyle. But I'm appealing to their humanity, their soul, their sense of right and wrong, justice and injustice. And at the end of the day, we need all the support we can get to change Jamaica. And just remember, out of many, one. Well, family, let's talk about fertilizer. Yeah. All right. Now, the backstory, for those of you who haven't heard it, and for those of you who have, just bear with me, because we want everyone to be on board. Now, there's a group of people living in the Western Sahara Desert, and they have a problem with Morocco regarding autonomy, and they have raw materials that people are interested in, and like them want to take away them land. So from 1976, the Jamaican government has supported their autonomy against Morocco and other countries. And that continued under PNP-led government, JLP-led government. That support continued until 2016. What happened in 2016? In 2016, we see where the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign... I don't notice, she mix up in a whole heap of things, Whole heap of things. The prison. But we never get she involved in all that. The Global Jamaica Diaspora Council, where we're not sure if it's a legal entity or whatever, she involved in all that. FARA filings, that people not filing under the Foreign Agents Registration Act, she involved in all that. The Haitian thing, she involved in all that. The failure to file, she involved in all that. And a whole heap more things. The Morocco, she involved in all that. The Fertilizer, she involved in all that. So you can see it's not just one thing that she's involved in. Now we can say, oh, just make that go by. It's a lot of things. So what happened is she went to Morocco 2016, I believe, and they signed an agreement. And the agreement was that Jamaica was now changing course and would now support Morocco, not the people of the Western Sahara. Just 2016, 2017. And then what happened? Boom, Jamaica get fertilizer. No, Jamaica didn't, and I think still doesn't have a strong diplomatic relation with Morocco. But Jamaica has a strong diplomatic relationship with Nigeria. Now, after the war started in Ukraine, because Ukraine, I think, was the world's largest producer of fertilizer. After the war, Nigeria became the world's largest producer. And Jamaica has an established and strong relationship with Nigeria. But Jamaica didn't get the fertilizer from Nigeria. Jamaica go all the way around, past West Africa and go around to North Africa and get fertilizer from Morocco. Why? We know why. Because of the voting of the UN. So we get the fertilizer for free. But learn this, people. Understand this. That in the diplomatic world, like almost everywhere else, there's no such thing as a free lunch. When I give you something because of something that you've done for me, something that you're doing for me, or something that you will do for me in the future, a favor. So Jamaica, get the fertilizer. I started to ask questions last year, November, about this fertilizer business. And under the Access to Information Act, which we will talk about today. And I couldn't get any answer. They're supposed to answer within 30 days. 30 days came when? 60 days, nothing. 90 days, nothing. 120 days, nothing. And then me start wrath. Me start kick up dust. Me start carry on. And family, I got a response dated the 9th of June. I didn't get it on the 9th of June, but it's dated the 9th of June. Let me just explain something to you, because I'd asked on a couple of programs for farmers to call in and tell me if they receive fertilizer. One farmer called in and she said she had asked for 20 pounds of fertilizer to plant pineapples, and they told her that she didn't qualify. So after that, and that's the only farmer. Everybody else who said that, well, actually, there's a little bit more to the story. she said that. I reached out to a couple of the farmers. They said they didn't know anything about this fertilizer. I reached out to an MP, a current MP, who's familiar with agriculture. He and I sat down virtually, and we went through the amount of fertilizer and the possible distribution. And the best that he could come up with was that about 500,000 pounds of fertilizer were distributed. Right? Now, the question is, how much fertilizer arrived in Jamaica? All right? I have the numbers here. 2,645,547 pounds of fertilizer. 2.6, almost 2.65 million pounds of fertilizer came to Jamaica. Right? What they're telling me now in this document I have here from the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining is that they distributed 2,455,860 pounds of fertilizer, which means almost 190,000 pounds of fertilizer missing. Not 190 pounds, 190,000 pounds of fertilizer missing. Now, the numbers I just gave you are the numbers they gave me. They also said that some of the fertilizer bags, they were damaged, right? And that fertilizer, they moved it someplace else. But see, fertilizer is not like fertilizer is not like eggs. You know, like if you drop the egg and you broke the egg, you really can't do anything with it, right? It's gone. Or water, drop it, gone. Fertilizer, you shovel it up, right? You rebag it and then you distribute it. But that never happened. Them say 1,374 bags. Each bag is 110 pounds, by the way. That's what they're telling us. Each bag weighs 110 pounds. Now they say that 1,374 bags were damaged. They don't tell us what happened with that fertilizer, except to say that contents of damaged bags were sent to Orange River Research Station. The weights were not ascertained. When you see what I go on, the weights were not ascertained. So what I'm gonna say is that, hey, some of the bags were damaged, and so the damaged bags, we'll pack up the fertilizer and then we send it to Orange River Research Station. What Orange River? What go on to Orange River Research Station? I think it come for the farmers. I don't know if them are farmers at Orange River Research Station, but that's where it went. And them said the weights cannot be ascertained, so we still don't know. But based on the numbers they gave us, the fertilizer that went to the Orange River Research Center, we don't know about that. But based on the numbers, the raw numbers they gave us, almost 190,000 pounds of fertilizer missing. Now, me know some my mother, she look down for me and she said, Junior, my boy, I'm proud of you. I never waste my money upon you. And I'm thankful for thinking that way, because there are farmers out there that don't have a voice. They don't know what's going on. They're left to the mercy of these administrators. Let me tell you what else they tell me about this thing here. They said that they're going to distribute. They've done already, because they said They finished distributing the fertilizer July 30 of last year. They started distributing it on May 18 of last year, and they finished by July. They said that fertilizer will be distributed to registered farmers. So if you don't register, you're not getting any fertilizer. Not only must you be registered, but you must be actively in production. And they say individual farmers must, not may, not if you feel like, must sign to acknowledge receipt of the fertilizer. So if you get fertilizer, you have to sign for it. Right? They went on to say that each farmer who's registered and is actively involved in the business of farming will get only 2 bags of fertilizer. Each bag weighs 110 pounds. 220 pounds of fertilizer each farmer will get. Right? But here's a scam. They said fertilizer can be collected by another farmer or president of the farmers group. And in order to facilitate the collection of the fertilizer, farmers must write and sign a letter indicating the name of the group, their RADA ID number, that's a Rural Agricultural Development, I think, Association, their willingness to keep production records, right? And their willingness to grant RADA and other groups access to their property so that they can come on and see that you're actually using the fertilizer. Then they go on to say, in the event that a farmers group or a group of farmers designate one farmer to pick up on their behalf, this must be formally communicated to the parish manager, indicating who will be collecting on whose behalf. This document shall be signed by the farmers making the request. No, family, here's what happened. To explain that, very simply, each farmer, you only allow 2 bags, right? And you must be registered and you must be actively involved in farming. 2 bags, 220 pounds of fertilizer. However, one person can go and say, I represent a whole group of farmers, and so I'm here to pick up all of the fertilizer for everybody. And they must have record. Somebody have to sign. Right? All of the farmers have to sign. So you see what I'm going right there, so? One person can come and collect 1,000 pounds of fertilizer and say, well, me I collect it for the people in my district. Right? And you will get it. But them say, if you come, you have to sign. Now, I ask them, Mama no raise no fool, you know. I might not bright, but I'm not stupid. Mama asks them, May I ask them for information regarding the number, the name, the location of farmers, identify the farmers who are in receipt of the Moroccan fertilizer. Right? Then we go back and ask them who actually get the fertilizer. You know them tell me? Them can't give it to me. Them say names and location of the farmers are exempt under section 0.22 of the ATI Act of 2002. We are going to check that out, you know, because we're not going to make it go. We're not going to make it go. Them give me all of the information and then give me bogus information in some instances. And then when we say, okay, you know what? Since you know all of this fertilizer, and by your regulation, you said people must sign for it. Well, turn over the signature cards. Let me add up how much fertilizer I actually distribute. When you give me a number, the number wrong, fine. I want to additional check. Give me the names, so that I can reach out to these farmers. Them say no, but here's the thing about it. This shouldn't be a privacy issue, because what happens is that you're giving out a gift. You're giving out a gift to Jamaican farmers. So there's no There's no privacy involved in that. It's like, okay, we want to verify that you actually did what you said you're doing, because we know, not based on hearsay, we know based on the numbers you gave us that something is grossly wrong. Something is wrong here. We're missing almost 190,000 pounds of fertilizer. So we don't trust the numbers you give us. So we want to talk to them people. Yeah. But them don't want, and look, them never not give me the signature. Just tell me who you get, who you get to. Because you say that they must account for it. So, but there's more in that document. It's an amazing document, and I've been waiting for this since last November, and they finally sent it to me, and we're gonna do more follow up on this thing here, because we don't believe that all of the fertilizer was distributed the way it should have, meaning going to the needy farmers, the people who registered with RADA and they're involved in farming. I heard a story about some grass that came to Jamaica and went to some politician place or whatever. We're going to make sure that this doesn't happen. The only problem with this is that fertilizer loses its potency if stored for too long. So all this fertilizer used up already. So we won't be able to recapture that. We won't be able to say, okay, the fertilizer is in over here, and so we can. Well, then again, who knows? Because somebody mentioned to me today that the fertilizer might be a leverage point for the elections for farmers. They might start release some fertilizer, a year from now. Although the fertilizer will lose its potency, it still have some value, but the strength won't be as potent as when it first came to Jamaica. But that's where we are with that. No. Second thing is Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. Okay. I mean, she was involved with the fertilizer deal too. Don't forget that. And then now she's involved with this other deal. Now, you remember about 2 weeks ago in the newspaper, she said that I had no standing and that, they're going to ask the court to dismiss the matter because I have no standing. Or somebody just put that the under certain laws you can't provide the actual information. Well, one of the ways to get around that is you don't ask for the signature card. You don't say, okay, give me the person's card and thing. You just say, just tell me. You don't have to give me the signature card and all the details, but just tell me how the fertilizer was distributed. That's all. Because if you're talking about transparency, openness, right, good governance, then there is no reason why you shouldn't share this information. There's no reason. You don't have to give me the information on the person from birth till now, but just tell me, okay, we give this farmer this amount, we give that farmer that amount. You have to give me the signature of them sign, but them say them not give me no information, right? Well, we will see about that. We'll see about that. But getting back to this story with the honorable minister now. You remember the honorable minister said, I don't have a leg to stand on. I don't have any standing. Well, a couple of things happened recently. I have 3 letters here. One's dated March 30th. And there's another one dated June. Where is it? There's another one dated in June. They both came from the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. The one in March basically said the minister did not file. We have no information here that she filed for the gift of services that Finn Partners gave her in her bid to become the Commonwealth Secretary. So I went back and I said, you know what? She may have filed March 31st. So I went back and I said to them, okay, tell me if she filed after March 30th. And then I asked for additional stuff. Like, because if the gift is of significance to the government of Jamaica, it has to go before the cabinet, it has to be approved. And then there's a long list. There's like 13 things. I have it documented that you must do. Due diligence and all that stuff before you can accept the gift and after you accept the gift. So they came back in June and they said, we have no information in the ministry to address any of the things that you ask about. Again, Mama no raise no fool. So I start thinking and say, well, wait a minute, she never filed. And it never approved by the cabinet. Because if it had been, all of these documents were supposed to be someplace, and one of the places would have been the Ministry of Finance. So I say, okay, I tell you what, since it is have to be approved by cabinet, let me go to the cabinet then, just to double check. So no family member, I know say, me like a bloodhound. Once me start, me no let go. Once you put me on the scent and me start follow the trail, me no stop. So what happened now? The office of the cabinet responded to me the 9th of June. And them say, we were unable to provide a response to the reference questions as no existing document containing the requested information resides within this ministry. Similar language to the language used by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. No information exists to address the questions you ask. If they had information and they didn't want to give it to me, they said, we have information, but under section blah, 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 we can't give it to you. Just like what they did with the fertilizer. And they're required by law to do that. They're required by law to tell you that if they're not giving you information, they have to give you chapter and verse of the Access to Information Act to say, based on this, we cannot give you the information. But no, what they said here, what the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service and the Office of the Cabinet said, we have no information regarding your request that exists within this ministry. So she never filed. So we'll go back and we'll look at what the minister did in her affidavit. Can him send me an affidavit? I'm telling about the affidavit, right? And in her affidavit, I read, and I said to myself, say, something all right, yeah, son. If you get a chance of her affidavit, people, and it's public, it's a public document because it's filed in court. If you read paragraphs, and our lawyers, them are listen. So me go, give them a primer today, right? I'll give them a primer on how you do certain things. I don't know everything, and I'm willing to learn. But the things that I do know, I am willing to share. Even if you are King's Counsel, Queen's Counsel, no counsel, willing to share. And they need to go back and look at what she wrote, and she swore to this. And they provided it to the court, and they provided it to me. In paragraphs 8, 9, and 10, here are some of the things that she said. She said, in essence, that there was a gift of $99,000 provided by third parties and the private sector. 1. 2. She admitted that the gift was used to pay for public relations work and consultancy services in support of her bid to become Secretary General of the Commonwealth. Even though she said the Jamaican government, they approved her, it was her campaign. She tried to say it's a Jamaican campaign. It was her campaign. 3, the services were provided by Fin Partners, the services of public relations work and consultancy services. And 4, and this is very important. She said the gift of $99,000 was not paid directly to the Jamaican government. What a revelation. Because now we know that the gift was not to the government. But don't take her word for it. Talk to Minister of Information, Robert Morgan. And what does he say? Well, first of all, in order to give the government a gift, I told you before, there are like 13 things you have to do. None of those things were done. And then the office of the cabinet says we have no information that this gift came through to the cabinet or was approved. Then we have the Ministry of Finance saying that we have no filing. And then we have her saying on TV on or about June 7, 2022, that she said the campaign is financed by the Jamaican government and no other government is involved. But you know what she didn't do? She didn't take the step to say, but it's financed by private sector to the tune of $99,000. And she should have, because guess what happened? By the time she made the statement, the entire $99,000 was already paid to Finn. They received the last payment June 1st. They received a payment in April of $33,000, May of $33,000, June 1st of $33,000. So by the time she gave this interview, the payment was already made and the services were almost done. She never mentioned that. And here's what else she said. She said that there were no secrets and no attempt to hide anything, and she hoped that people would not seek to characterize it as such. No secrets, no attempt to hide anything, and people shouldn't see it in that way. But she never tell us the complete story, right? Then she said things like indicating that if she were chosen as Secretary General, she would be moving to London. She would become the head of the Secretariat over 54 countries. Her announcement, PR announcement that she had run in the campaign, made by the government, of course, but the announcement of her running caught people off guard. The response to her candidacy has been overwhelming and positive. And her achievements, and to talk about a whole bunch of things she has achieved like a string of pearls. And that it made her a competitive candidate. And as Secretary General, she would make a difference, blah, blah, blah. This was personal. She's talking about herself. And by the way, if she had been successful, who would have occupied the mansion in Mayfair, London? Would it have been the Jamaican government? The salary, over $200,000 US. Who would have gotten that salary? The Jamaican government? All the other things, the perks, who would have gotten that? The Jamaican government? No. And don't make them fool and tell them about benefits. The only benefit Jamaica would have gotten would be one of national pride, to say, hey, we have a Jamaican who's in charge of this organization. Because there's nothing she could have done for Jamaica that any other Secretary General wouldn't have done. Because you cannot give Jamaica more than Jamaica is deserving. So, for example, if there's a natural disaster, and Jamaica should get X from the Commonwealth. Jamaica is going to get X from the Commonwealth, no matter who is sitting there, because there are requirements to get benefits from the Commonwealth. So, with her being there, Jamaica not get nothing, right? But I want to tell you what Minister Morgan said. Right? On Nationwide Radio, August 2022, he said the government of Jamaica was not a party to the contract. So we can just rule that out, right? Jamaica not get nothing, right? And then I won't give you all of this except this one statement. He said, Finn Partners was engaged to provide public relations support for Minister Johnson Smith in her campaign for Commonwealth Secretary General. Her campaign. No. And then when he went before Parliament, he said, oh, here are 3 names, but I can't give you the rest of the names. And I'm not going to tell you how much money they paid, and so on and so forth. Now, if it had been a gift to the government, you cannot do that. If it's a gift to the government, you have to fill out the gift form and tell the government, tell the people of Jamaica who are giving money. Because why? We want to make sure that the money is not coming from a tainted source. Among other things. We want to make sure that the money is not coming from a scammer, a drug dealer, a murderer, or this or that. We want to make sure that the money is coming from a clean and respectable and upright source. Right? So when him refuse to get the names, we know immediately this can't be a gift to the government. So if it's not a gift to the government, then who's that gift to? Who? Why don't I think about that? The minister said, Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith, she said, I never received a gift in either my personal or my official capacity. And furthermore, I didn't get any benefit. The benefit went to the government of Jamaica. Now, if our lawyers are listening, when you go back and read Circular 17 and read the FFA Rule 9, I think it's 9.3 and 9.5. The law says nothing about benefits. The law speaks about gifts and donations. So if the honorable minister is saying she didn't get a gift and she didn't get a benefit, the Jamaican government got a benefit, then the question is, then who got the gift? Simple. Simple like ABC. A gift was given, and all of a sudden everybody will run from it. Everybody will run from it. A gift of $99,000 was paid to Finn Partners to provide consultancy services to whom? To Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith. And the statute said there's such a thing as donation of services, including consultancy services. So, run out of that one there. People, them can't go around me. Them not going to overtake me. Some people say, I'm cocky, I'm this and that. I'm supremely confident. Supremely confident about what me I talk about. Them can't go around me. We're upon a one-way street, one lane. And the only place them can overtake me is to go over the cliff. Them can't pass me. Them can't pass me. It's one lane, one street. One lane, one-way street. I'm in front of them. And they might try them best to go around them. They will never be able to do that. Never. Remember me telling you that. A gift was given and all of a sudden nobody received the gift. We start here benefits and this and that. No, the gift. Who received the gift? And the gift is a gift of services, because the gift that was paid, the money that was paid to Finn, that wasn't a gift to Finn because Finn provided us services. There's a contract. Finn says we will do the following for X amount of dollars. That's not a gift. That's payment for services to be rendered. Now, Finn turn around and provide a gift of services to whom? To Minister Bartlett? To Minister Vaz? To Minister Williams? To Minister Chan? Who? None other than our Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. So now we've heard from what she said. We've heard about what Minister Morgan said. Now let's listen to what Finn said. Finn's the group that provided the services. Finn said, our principal is Kamina Johnson-Smith. And Kamina Johnson-Smith is an individual, a Jamaican national. And we are going to provide to her a whole list of PR services. And we are going to be paid in April, May, and June. Each payment will be $33,000, total $99,000. And by the way, ask yourself the question, why $99,000? I found out that there's $100,000 would trigger a filing requirement. So all that issue that we never get to that issue there yet, you know. Another issue we haven't gotten to is who actually made the payment to Finn. Here's the thing about that. I reached out yesterday to the Department of Justice, the U.S. Department of Justice, the FARA unit, the Foreign Agents Registration Unit. I'm hoping to get a call from them, a return next week. Because we don't know at this point who paid Finn. Whoever paid Finn, and we know it's not. We know Grace Kennedy didn't send for them money, and Musan Group didn't send for them money, and Keith Duncan didn't send fee money, and all the other unnamed parties send them money, and the money coming into Finn. No. Business is not conducted in that manner. One person or one organization paid Finn. Then somebody collected all the money and made the payments to Finn. Who? Because if it's a government official who made that payment, Hill and Powder House. And if it's a person with a cloudy background, Hill and Powder House. Yes, Lily Brown, them all have sticky fingers, you know, and them tell things, them tell half truths, and them obfuscate, them hide things, them don't come out and tell you things, right? Them don't come out and tell you things. But you know, one of the greatest things that a government can do, a parent can do, our parents can do for children is to instill in them the ability of critical thinking, the ability to read and understand and question. Big up yourself, Fancy Face, and question, right? Read, understand, question. Because those were some of the things. There were lots of other things, but those were some of the things that my parents, my community, my teachers instilled in me. Thank God for them, because I am here because of what they did for me. And so I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to impart knowledge. Now, keep in mind, it's a two-way street, because I'm learning as well. Because some of you have taught me a tremendous amount of things. I don't know everything, but I know some things. And the things that I know, I will pass them on to you. And likewise, I expect that when, you know, that you will share your knowledge with me. And I will make mistakes. And when I make the mistakes, I expect you to say to me, listen, you made a mistake, and point them out to me. I'm not too big, too cocky, too confident. That, as my mother would say, you know, take telling. That when you tell me and show me something wrong, that I'm going to put up a fight and say, no, and argue. No, that's pointless. That's asinine. When you're wrong, you're wrong. And when you're wrong, what you need to do is own up to being wrong. You can't be wrong and strong. And that is what's going on here. No, so we talk about the gift piece. Them say the court have no jurisdiction. We go and find the court have jurisdiction under the Civil Procedure Act and the Judicature Act. Them say me now no standing, me can't bring no lawsuit. And I won't read you because it gets kind of technical. But here is why I'm telling you it's so important that you read when people give you documents and you ask questions. Don't just accept, no matter who the person is, just because of their position. You shouldn't accept whatever they're telling you as the gospel truth, because they are humans too and they make mistakes. And that's why I'm telling you, when I tell you something, I know I like to give you the citation so that you can go and read it for yourself. You don't have to take my words as unchallenged. Challenge them, challenge me. No, here's what they said about the standing issue. They come and they talk about, okay, no, follow me, people, follow me, family. There are two actions in Jamaica, the civil action that we're talking about. One is called judicial review, and that is where you're asking the government. Our time now. No, can't take the call, and no time yet. And this is where you're asking the government to this is where you're asking the court to tell the government to do something, to compel the government to do something. So, for example, if the Ministry of Education should be handing out books and they're not handing out books, then you can go to court and say, Judge, we're asking you to tell them that they have to hand out the books. And then the court will tell them if you make out your case. Now, for that, you need something called leave of court. So you file the action with the court and say, Judge, this is what I'd like to do. The judge will review it. And if the complaint is sufficient, if you have a good case, the judge will say, okay, I agree with you. So go ahead and file now and ask us now to tell the government to do what you're supposed to do. That's called leave of court. So you apply for leave of court, and then it's granted, and then you file the action. What I filed for was something called an administrative order. You don't need leave of court. You know why? You're not asking the court to force anybody to do anything. You're simply saying to the court, Judge, here is the evidence that something happened. And I just want you to look at the evidence and make a ruling that something happened. End of story. You're not punishing anyone. You're not sending anyone to prison. You're not fining them. You're not compelling them to do anything. No. You just look at the evidence and say. So in my case, I'm saying to the judge, Judge, take a look at this and tell me whether you believe the minister filed or not. And all the judge has to do is say, yes, she filed, or no, she didn't file. And that's the end. No, they're wondering, what am I going to do with that? Well, I feel them problem that. It's not my problem. So that's a two action. So what did our lawyers say? Our lawyers come out and say, oh, he filed and he didn't ask for leave of court. I don't need leave of court. It's a big on the top, administrative order. It never said judicial review. And then come out and say, oh, you need leave of court. You need leave of court if it's judicial review. The second thing them comment is them say, well, you don't have sufficient interest, right? Sufficient interest. If you go back to the civil procedure, the section, pertinent section, and you look at it, sufficient interest comes on the layout, some criteria on the judicial review. The one we need leave of court for, the one we no file for. If you go to the one we file for, administrative order, there is no criteria there. None. In fact, 3 sections where it's mentioned administrative order, 2 other sections, there's no mention of sufficient interest. There's 1 section where it mentions sufficient interest. And guess who the sufficient interest is for? It's not for me who's filing the lawsuit. It's not for the person filing the lawsuit. It's for a third party trying to intervene in the lawsuit. Give you an example. Extrajudicial killings, right? So let's say that the police killed this man and his family now, they sue, and now we're in court. Jamaicans for Justice, they're coming in and they're saying this is a practice and pattern of the JCF of committing extrajudicial killings. And so they want to join the lawsuit. They must have sufficient interest. Not the person who's suing and say, you kill me, picnic, I want money from you. Not that person. That's the sufficient interest with them I talk about. And again, I don't know, somebody's a dear friend of mine, I don't even want to mention his name. He said to me, say, a war liar, I must say brother Nancy. Because I hear Nancy's story. And that's it. Spear Nancy's story. So, and we have a lot more things we can go in on. But 409, we're gone over time with the Reggae Global Radio. They may have some commercials and, people over there who are listening, them not hear some of the things that we said because of the commercial break. My apologies. Can we get all wrapped up in this thing here? But, people, I think Marcus Garvey said the man who has lost confidence in himself or her, or the person was lost. It should read, the person was lost confidence in him or herself. They've lost twice in the race of life. You can't deal with them people, yeah, and come wishy-washy. You have to come with as much force as you can and make them know so you mean business. So again, you have to do your reading. You have to do your research. You have to understand. And you have to question. And you question till you get the answer. They're afraid of that. You think they're afraid of the people who live in the bubble, the people who are around the country and things? You think they're really afraid of gunmen? How much of them get shot, by the way, in the last 20 years? How much MP get shot? Them not afraid of a gunman, because them know say chances are it's not going to happen to them because of their standing, their protection, and so on and so forth. Them now get shot. You know what them afraid of? Them afraid of somebody like me from back of the zinc fence here, not using a gun, but using this, and hold them to the tenor and the spirit and the words of the laws that they themselves wrote, and words that they've spoken, and or words they've written. That them afraid of. That them afraid of. You come with a gun and you think them afraid of you? Them just call up the certain people and say, well, remember a couple of people come out and start make statements about the Prime Minister and his mother and things like that. I mean, I don't agree with the statements, but there's such a thing called freedom of speech, right? They didn't threaten him, right? And while I don't agree with what was said, the person has a right, because it's a democracy. No, them can't find the 200 most wanted in Jamaica, but them go find, say something bad about the Prime Minister and his mother or his wife or his kids. Say something bad, I dare you. Say something bad tomorrow in the public and see if them not find you tomorrow, Sunday. By Monday, them find you. Monday or Tuesday, them find you. And then you stand up and you have to give apologies. But them afraid of somebody like me. Not only me, I'm afraid of people like me who say, you know what? The law said this, and who not do that. Fight me upon the law. Fight me upon that. No fight. I then put up some like a full fight, you know. So that is where we are with the Camino story. There's plenty more about it, but what I don't want like kill the program or go spend the whole program and talk about it. But we just want to know, say, I may look like an idiot, but I'm not a fool. Tom drunk. Tom not drink. But Tom not fool. Remember that. So what we're going to do now, bless up everybody. Bless up. Claudia, big up yourself. Dorothy, Angela, Merinda, Cooking with Lady P, Smith. Yeah, man, them not no respect for the Constitution.
honesty? Can you say it with honesty? Honesty. Can you say it with honesty? Honesty. Can you say it with honesty? Honesty. Can you say it with honesty?
My people, you can't hear me? Give me some signal there. You can't hear me? Hold on, let me turn on the music there. You can't hear me? So no, all right. Kevin, them can't hear me, it look like. All right, thanks. All right, bye-bye. All right. Oh, you can't hear me. All right, hold on there. All right, I'm there again. You don't need to tell me which part you couldn't hear me now when I drop off, you know, because I don't want to miss nothing. You know. Anyway. All right, you can't hear me. All right, here one now. I have Jerry I'll wait because Jerry now have to leave by a certain time period. I want Jerry to come on because I want to have, as them saying in Jamaica, fulsome discussion, access to information. So, you're going to bring on Jerry now. Hold on there. See if I can bring him on here because...
Yeah, you can hear me? You can hear me?
Quick now for a call, Kevin again.
I see myself. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Jerry, you can't hear me. I try to bring you on in, brother.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. Whenever the fan, look at turn on the fan. The fan make a sound. I can hear you. Can hear you. Can hear you. Can you hear me?
Not now,
Yeah,
go over there.
Plug it up.
Not try add the jump thing. And try add
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah, me I try add Jerry on the jump thing, but it now go over.
Yeah, man, I can hear you. I wonder if Rattigan hearing me.
Kevin?
Ask him if he's hearing me. Look like him not hearing me.
Kevin?
Tell me. All right. True. Somebody say we need a producer. You know Finzi Smith?
Who?
Finzi Smith.
No.
Huh?
No.
You don't know? Let me see my little youth. Remember? Where is he?
Who?
Oh, he was outside there. Virgin son. Lion. Good man, good. And if you me, I say, okay. I thought it was a reflection behind me.
Is it something you need to adjust on this?
I don't think so.
Them, it's them.
Because the audience hearing me, them hearing him, but him not hearing me. I'm hearing him, but him not hearing me.
Them youngster outside,
Yeah.
one of them?
I don't think the fault is here, so you know.
Who's it is? That's when
Oh, I have to go on to get assistance. Takilemkwa.
you getting a message.
I read the message there. So, Catherine Daly. Sound is once the sound is back. I don't hear it. He said, we hear you, Jerry, and the person in your house as well.
Who said that?
Can't the name gone to move far. Happy Father's Day. God, somebody said, I can't hear him so small. Thank you, let him go again. Freedom said. On the first 2 weeks, everything go good, and I say after a while, a pure program, but all the four programs, all four of them are linked. I feel enough stress that in them thing I'm going to just calm myself and do over that. I have to calm myself. You know. Them say media is one of the most stressful occupation. You know. Time and sound and accuracy and how I gold burn. Grace Lewis. Somebody said, true, stay calm. I wonder if they might hear me at that. Are we still oh boy. Somebody said we are hearing every sound on your end, Jerry. Somebody said Jerry must continue speaking in the meantime. I wonder if, just tell her, did somebody say I must go and speak in the meantime because they are hearing me? Just tell me a message about that. Just tell me if somebody said I must go and speak in the meantime, because I had to do that one time and it did work. Somebody say yes. All kind of things are going. Somebody say yes, 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 yes. I think that mean yes, Jerry. Yeah. All right. Unfortunately, one thing about it, and these things are an example of the kind of happenings that can get people flustered, even when you are ahead of the game, even when you are doing well, you might doubt and just feel to give up, or you feel like nobody hearing you. So anyway, there recently the government objecting and trying to discredit the Integrity Commission, trying to discredit the Integrity Commission, and trying to get in control. Imagine the Integrity Commission was put there to see that the officers of the government conduct themselves in a good way and give good service and open, transparent service to the people of Jamaica. And the government, not even the government, the administration of Jamaica, because the government consists of the administration, which is the majority party, and the opposition. The government is not the winning party alone. The winning party is the administration, the government is the administration, and the opposition. Get that? And now the government, the administration, trying to establish control over the Integrity Commission when they're not supposed to have control over the Integrity Commission. The Integrity Commission is like a court that is judging if you did wrong or right to another citizen or to all the citizens of Jamaica. So it's typical of what is going on. Now that is closely associated with the whole concept of access to information. The Integrity Commission is a counterpart of the public. The public also is an Integrity Commission. The public in any country, the public is an Integrity Commission. And therefore, the access to information that many countries have, and many countries have Secrecy Act, but even when they have a Secrecy Act to protect the country because of sensitive information, like for instance, if the police are going to raid Waterhouse or Beverly Hills tonight, why should they be announcing, and them do it all the time, why should the police be announcing we are going to raid Waterhouse tonight and we guarantee that we will catch all the criminals there? So yes, there is some kind of information that is sensitive and you don't give it out until after, and that information is about a certain time. You don't give it out until after you accomplish your objective. You don't announce to the fish that you're going fishing and so on and so forth. You don't send out a shark in the which part fish are run before you come. And ironically, people say in Jamaica and in as African saying, if shark, no, if what I'm saying, if a fish come from river bottom and tell us an alligator down there or shark, don't bother argue with the fish. Even you go tell people say no alligator not there Jamaica or almost crocodile down there. Just take the fish word for it, say one long mouth sitting down there with teeth where eat flesh and watch a step. So it is that access to information is a right of all people in every modern country in the world. At the same time, you know that certain information should not be given out in real time, like the fact that you're going to put a roadblock down this road and that road. At the same time, generally speaking, people must have access to information about things that concern everybody and things that affect everybody. And these things are this state of having access to information has been established in Jamaica through the insistence of the public for some years now. Matter of fact, what year was it that the Access to Information Act was in? With 2002, the Access to Information Act was ratified in Jamaica. 2002, 21 years ago, to promote accountability and transparency in government decision making. Yet we know, say, a couple of years ago, Radio Jamaica Group, the group that include Radio Jamaica, Gleaner, TVJ, through Dion Jackson Miller and others, applied for some information about something that happened in a couple decades before. And the government started, the administration, which is the JLP administration of 2016 till now, and at the time, and now 2022 till now, 2021, or when was the election? 2021 or 2020? 2022. Tried to block it. And while they were blocking it, somebody observed wholeness in the parliament, get up from him side of the seat, and signal to Peter Phillips, meet me behind the speaker's chair. Now, this is one of the practices in parliament in Jamaica and in some other countries of the world. You can go and talk about some official business with your opposition over the other side. If you signal to the speaker, say you want to talk with them and you don't want to leave the chamber, you can go behind the speaker chair, go talk. That means people must see say you talk. That's why I think they have that rule. People must see that you're talking, but them don't have to hear what you're talking about, but at least them know say you knock heads. So you have heads up on each side. You know, what my leader go and cross, go and talk with the opposition for. And on the other side, what my leader go and cross, go and talk with the administration both. So it's a good thing Ronnie tweets, observe them, say wholeness, signal Peter Phillips, say I want a word with you behind the speaker chair. And then him and Peter Phillips kind of knock head. No, it's not every time say people knock heads with me, I'm in agreement. You know. Knock heads mean that them come close together and are talking to one another ear so that no one else may hear. But afterward, if you see them go out with some skullduggery, you know, so them did knock heads, not just ears. Them knock heads and make some agreement. Now, Wholeness come out and say, reply to the public that somebody come out and reveal that Wholeness tried to get Peter Phillips and the opposition, not only not to reveal the information that RJR did want at the time, but to get the PNP to agree to add on some decades on to the period of time when them can keep some secret. Normally, them can keep something secret for something like 20 years. Wholeness now, I try to get Peter Phillips and PNP to agree to keep things secret for 70 years, and it was just about when Siaga did, you know. Just about when Siaga did. They want to keep certain things secret about when Siaga was administering the government. And the PNP now would have benefit by them keep things secret about when Michael Manley was administering the government. And the two sides of government frequently knock heads, you know, against the public interest. It happened in America, it happened in England. Knocking heads against the public. Now Peter Phillips ball out when Wholeness claims that he consulted Peter Phillips and Peter Phillips agreed. Peter Phillips ball out is a lie. I think he actually used that word, is a lie. He did not agree. He only listened to the suggestion from Wholeness. And then now, when Peter Phillips ball out says like Ronnie Tweets was able to, Randy's not talked before now. Ronnie Tweets was able to say yes. And I know say something funny was going on when I saw the two of them go behind the speaker chair and knock heads. Now, many other PNP members are there, either not observing or not willing to talk, because some of the members, them, you know, they're not willing to talk. But each one of them supposed to be a watchman for the public, you know. The MPs on one side, not supposed to be MPs for them party, you know. They are not MPs for them party, they are members of parliament for the constituency. Wholeness is not Prime Minister of Jamaica with the approval of the people of Jamaica. Wholeness is a member of parliament for the era when running up. And he's supposed to represent and look out for the interest of the people at the era. But most of the members of parliament keep themselves quiet and don't reveal to the public what's going on, because them part of them are served. But Ronnie Tweets, they decide to serve the public and call out and say, I saw them knocking heads. You understand? And we found out they was trying to draw Peter Phillips and PNP into the agreement. Like right now, they might try to draw Mark Golden and others into agreement behind our back. And Mark Golden and them do have some agreement to them. And them agree about salary. And sometimes the disagreement broke out in the public, but it's only in the public it broke out. Sorry, Rattigan is back. Can we hear? Are you there, sir? We see you. We see you, but we don't know if it's behind the speaker chair you are. Anyway, so now, So all of these situations and all of these unsatisfactory situations are closely related to the Access to Information Act. And even recently we have the public is learning fast. You're not hearing Jerry. No, hold your head so if you're not hearing Jerry. But anyway, all of these things are related to the fact that the public of Jamaica is learning fast. Why are they learning so fast? They have some people in a media, the new media now, social media is the one that people listening to. And the people in social media learn how to explain, not only learn, are willing to explain things to the public day by day in the way that members of parliament supposed to be explaining things to the public day by day. We suppose them to do it, but them never intend to do that. Them never plan the constitution and the government of Jamaica that way. But we know it's supposed to work. All right now. But they are not explaining things day by day to the public. Not explaining things day by day to the public. When the lot of scamming on them thing, not only a lot of scamming, when the whole pyramid scheme them, when the Ponzi scheme them, the different, what them name? What them did name again? One was being run by a guy named Smith. Another one was being run by some other guys, collecting billions of dollars and promising to pay interest every month, all 15% interest every month. That means I get 12 times 15% interest. And when the Ponzi scheme start to crash, those Ponzi scheme, the pyramid scheme, start to crash because people realize that they were fleecing them and conning them. We found out that these Ponzi scheme was donating money to the two parties, millions of dollars to both parties, and that's why both parties was allowing them to go on. Is NCB, the bank owned by Leachin, start to ball out because people start to take out their money out of NCB and put in a pyramid scheme. And NCB start to ball out, and a few people I think like Bunting ball out because them have bank and people that take money out of them bank and put in a Ponzi. If them wasn't being hurt themselves, you wouldn't hear them a ball out neither. So anyway, these are the things why access to information and sharing of information is so great. So now it's the new media, social media, people around the world and in Jamaica and in the diaspora who is explaining things to people day by day. So this come like a alternative parliament. That brings me to another point. Reparation money must be kept separate from the running of government. If and when, and there's no if about it, it seems to me, if we the people of the world that has been conned and that has been exploited so bad by the northern countries of the world, the northern countries, not Atlantic countries, which also happen to be the white dominated countries, being exploited so bad. North, the south of the world or south of Atlantic being exploited so much